Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 29th. Back in the saddle, hardcore. We were yesterday. Good day. Today we're talking about VW bringing manufacturing into the U.S., Honda's sub-30 EV, and the iPhone connected via Starlink.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Outer space iPhones.
Beam me up, Scotty. Man,
if you're on T-Mobile.
Our whole team kind of took off Monday.
Yeah.
I could have sworn when I woke up this morning it was Tuesday. I was like, man, it's been a good one-day week. Yeah, it's been, here we go, Wednesday.
Just when you thought you got through the holidays without being all messed up.
No, you went to NADA.
And it's like Saturday, Sunday. I'm like texting bankers and stuff on Saturday. It's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? It's amazing.
Look, I know you guys stopped working at 2 p.m., but come on.
It is a wild thing.
And they're like, it's Saturday.
There it is. Yeah. Man, we've got a really interesting conversation launching on Auto Collabs today. If you don't know, we have a podcast called Auto Collabs where Paul, Michael Cirillo, myself get really ridiculous for about 2.5 minutes, say some dumb stuff, and then we actually say smart stuff or try to let others say smart stuff. Yeah. Our guest today is Dave Canton. You're not going to want to miss that podcast. Massive in the M&A space, has some really cool ideas about how data and M&A kind of come together. So
heck yes.
You're going to check it out. You can go on any podcast platform, search Auto Collabs. You'll find it right there. Plus, like, I don't know, hundreds of others that we've done over the last couple
of years. And we're firing up even more coming up. Tomorrow, we are on the road to Washington, D.C. Actually, Nathan, our producer, will be there today. Al will be there today. It's Public Policy Day, which is the day before the New York or D.C. area auto show, and we're going to be talking with legislators, senators, dealers, policymakers, all the people, OEMs, press, and we're going to have a podcast stage right in the middle of it all. And we also have a session on the main stage where we're going to be our special guest is Tom Castriota, incoming chairman of NADA. We have Adam Marsberger from Ascent Dealer Services. We have Jim Ganther from Mosaic, and Kyle and I are going to try to let DC know what the flat brims are all about. We're going to bring the consumer to the front of the conversation. We're going to bring the dealer's perspective on the consumer to the front of the conversation. So a lot of content coming out from that. If you're an area dealer in the area and you want to go, just shoot us an email, crew@asoda.com. Say, I want to go to Public Policy Day. We'll connect you with the right people to make sure you can get there and just show up. It's going to be a long day, though.
Show up. It'll be fun. I mean, it's really the whole content day is like noon to 5. So you can make it in the afternoon, get back to the store at night, open the store in the morning. I would say if you're in the DC, Baltimore, area, come check us out.
Yep. I just realized I have a 4:51 boarding time.
That is troubling.
That's hardcore. It's hardcore. So just for you guys, just for you. All right, let's talk about some news.
Let's get into it.
Volkswagen Group is exploring plans to build. Were they at NADA? No. I just had a shame on one last time.
Volkswagen Group, all of Germany didn't.
Yeah, a little bit of snow. They don't get any snow. Volkswagen Group is exploring plans to build Audi and Porsche models in the U.S. if President Donald Trump imposes high tariffs on vehicle imports from Europe and Mexico. It's a proactive move aiming to safeguarding the brands from potential trade barriers that could significantly impact production and product profitability. Unlike the VW brand, which is already produced in the U.S., Audi and Porsche models sold in the U.S. are currently imported, making them vulnerable to tariffs. VW's Chattanooga plant produces the VW Atlas and the ID.4, has excess capacity, could be expanded to produce some luxury models. And another option is their upcoming South Carolina plant for the Scout brand, which could also accommodate Audi production. We are totally unaffiliated. A 10% tariff on European imports could reduce VW Group's profits by 5 to 10%, while a 25% tariff on Mexican imports could result in a 15% hit, according to Moody's.
The totally unaffiliated line is so underrated, by the way. That's amazing. I think
we don't know those people.
We have no clue who these people are that are building cars in our plant that we're not associated with, and there's no way their dealers are making sure that we can have this plant. Not at all. None of that. I will say we're going to start to see if there are excess tariffs created on imports. We're going to start to see more of these manufacturers try and figure out how to come into the U.S. They typically already have some level of plants, which is like VW, have some capacity to try and, build, or really it's about the end build in the US. So this, I think, is going to be like a first step in this. And there's probably some treading waters on the first 100 days. Like, hey, here's some announcements. We might be doing this, trying to jockey for position.
Yep.
But again, most underrated tweet of the day is we don't know those guys.
We don't know those guys. We just think they're nice, so maybe they'll let us in. Speaking of getting in,
segue
Time.
to the low-cost EV game.
To
Honda,
the low cost.
That's
Yeah.
right. Honda is stepping up into the affordable EV space with a sub $30,000 electric vehicle that could hit U.S. dealerships as early as 2026. A third of Honda's global sales now are EVs, and it looks to boost its U.S. EV presence. The new EV will be built locally in Ohio, starting with battery production to reduce costs. It'll be part of the new Honda. Is it called the Zero Series or the O Series? Do you know the answer to that?
I think it's 0.
Yeah. Honda. Okay.
Yeah. I think we looked this up one time. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's
The
like
Honda
zero
Series.
emissions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Zero Series, and will follow Honda's higher-end Zero Series SUV and sedans, expected to cost between $50,000 and $60,000. So they sold over 33,000 Prologue SUVs last year, outperformed the Chevy Equinox, Cadillac Lyriq, despite sharing GM's Ultium platform. So the Prologue's built on Ultium? I didn't realize that. The affordable EV could compete directly with GM's next-gen Chevy Bolt, also slated for a 2026 launch at a similar price point. A little competition.
Yeah, a little competition. I mean, this is a price point that manufacturers have been kind of challenged with, because, if you want mass adoption, you got to have a payment car. And we don't have a payment car for EVs primarily. We do in the lease side of the equation, but so many consumers are just not used to leasing yet. So until leasing also gets mass adoption, you got to get a payment car for the purchase side of things. So I think this will obviously be this will be something that brings Honda closer to like what the Chevy Bolt did or is trying to do, and potentially gain back some market share in the EV side of things. But kudos to them.
So they also said in the article, it's not here, but that they're aiming to have a fully electric lineup by 2040.
Wow.
2040 is the new 2030.
We're going to need a new song.
40 is the new 30, everybody. So
40 is the new 30. It's
let's
like
just
we've been
kick it out
saying it
past
for years.
a couple more retirements from the executive team.
So we won't even be here by then.
Speaking of the big play. Oh, where'd my little...
where'd it go?
There it is.
segue
Time.
That was weird. Yeah, false start.
Apple's latest big play is an iPhone update that gives T-Mobile users access to SpaceX Starlink network, marking a new era of connectivity. iOS 18.3 introduces support for SpaceX and T-Mobile's direct-to-satellite texting, meaning text messages via satellite in areas without cell coverage. The feature was previously limited to Android devices, including Samsung models. Beta testers have started getting text messages confirming access to satellite messaging. Obviously, there's a goal to add voice and data capabilities for complete off-grid connectivity, meaning you can
this
hike
is next level
and talk to someone.
I mean, I'm not on T-Mobile, so it's a little bit of a bummer. But that's next level. The phone connecting to Starlink with built-in hardware, right? No additional need for anything else. The iPhones already have like satellite built in. Have you tried that yet?
Yeah. I have a couple times.
I tried it while I was on a plane, right? I was like holding the phone like up to the window, and I did get a signal, but it was not stable. I mean, you're moving at 500 miles an hour, so
yeah.
And if it's not set up for that, but
for I've talked to people like in mountains or in the Grand Canyon or places where you have some visibility but don't have cell coverage. Like it works out real well. It's a good safety mechanism. For most people, this isn't going to be a huge deal, but man, when that 1 bar of LTE that really doesn't mean anything comes around and you might possibly be able to get a satellite signal, that's going to be a big deal, I think.
Do cars, I'm trying to think, most cars are like the 4G LTE network still?
Yep.
Some are on 5G,
that's right.
But like nothing's really connected via satellite. I mean, like who connected via satellite? Like early OnStar was satellite
Tesla
connection. Is Tesla satellite connection?
I would think so. I actually don't know that for sure, but why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like a Tesla with Starlink built in. That just feels like he's searching it right now, folks. I seen him go down, lean into the keyboard. Yeah, Tesla with Starlink makes a lot of sense. I think it's just going to raise the bar for everybody on connectivity in general. And obviously cars are a part of that. Autonomy is a part of that. And we'll see. Tesla with Starlink? I don't know.
Tesla vehicles are connected to Starlink.
I mean, that makes so much sense. Going vertical.
See, there you go.
Well, there you go. Everything you needed to know for a Wednesday. Hey, listen, make sure you follow Asodu on LinkedIn. We have a lot of content coming out still from NADA show and a lot of other things to keep you up to date. See you tomorrow.